this problem. Test, 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 test. Something messed up.
Test, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure, no worries. Thank you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You good? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Switch this all out. Test 1 2 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic test 1 2.
Okay, if I take a picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this room is all available.
A National Guard thing with it. How about stuff off a press release when we couldn't take pictures of?
Yeah.
I don't think I've been here.
Mic test 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Test 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Eric, I might need a test in like 45 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry.
Am?
Oh, that's further north.
I was wondering what happens for moms being tomorrow, but God is going to be that bad. I don't know that I'm going to go down.
Especially that. It's gonna be pretty bad.
Yeah, I texted my parents. I was like, I'm going to a DeWine press conference, so I'll let you know if I'm busy coming up and watch the weekend games. When I hear there.
But also it's Athens, so it's tough to determine.
I know. And my mom's there, my brother's there.
A little flooding won't stop the party.
Oh no. It would just be like tornado fest or something.
How much are tickets for that? Tornado Fest.
Ooh, everything free.
Yeah.
OU students can find any reason to
Free
drink.
party?
Yeah.
Forestry doesn't charge cover. It's gonna come this one year. Yeah.
Bring your own umbrella.
Cancel classes on Monday.
You ready?
Just 1
Oh.
second. Sorry.
I thought you were giving me the look like, why are you talking?
Oh,
Great.
okay.
If you could test for me. though.
1 2 3
Yeah,
4
Perfect.
5
Thank you.
6 7 8.
Eric, is this coming your way? Or am I okay?
No, no, you're fine.
Thank you.
Oh, great. Sweet. Hey, Amber, do you see my phone?
Oh, I see one here.
Is that? Yep, that's one. Sweet.
Afternoon, everybody. You guys all set? Well, I'm here today with Lieutenant Governor Tressel, as well as Sima Merick, who heads up the Ohio EMA. We're here at the Ohio Emergency Management Agency in Columbus as our teams continue to monitor the large storm that's been spinning over the Midwest for the past several days. As you can see on the monitors behind us, the storm is currently just sitting on top of us. What's concerning about the storm is its slow pace. It's churning over the Midwest, continuing dumping rain on the same areas of the country, including Ohio. Our experts tell us that they expect continued heavy rainfall throughout the state, on and off all this weekend, including the potential for severe thunderstorms in southwest Ohio, particularly on Saturday. The system isn't expected to move out of the state until sometime on Sunday. The facts are, as we have observed from the air and on the ground, that our ground is now really saturated here in Ohio. Our biggest concern right now, particularly for the southern half of Ohio, is flooding and flash flooding. Flooding and flash flooding. The storm has already dumped a lot of rain all over the state since Wednesday. We currently have quite a bit of localized flooding. Our rivers and tributaries are already swollen, and there are currently around 70 roads closed across the state of Ohio. About 70 roads currently closed. As this weather system continues to linger, we know this flooding will only get worse. I do want to be clear, though, we do not expect this storm to bring record levels of flood waters. We do not expect that. But we are expecting moderate flooding, particularly in the southern half of the state. The last time we saw flooding of this nature was in 2021. We expect more roads to flood over, more water in businesses and in basements, and more low-lying areas will also flood. Those here in the EMA's Emergency Operations Center have been coordinating with local law enforcement, local emergency management agencies in the state to ensure that they have everything that they need at the local level. That communication obviously will continue. The Ohio State Highway Patrol continues to remain fully engaged in monitoring and responding to the storm's impacts across the state. Troopers are maintaining high visibility and will respond as conditions evolve to ensure the safety of motorists. They work very, very closely with our local sheriff's office. Our local sheriffs do a phenomenal job keeping us informed. They do a phenomenal job right on the ground helping the citizens of their county. Our teams over at the Ohio Department of Transportation have also been preparing by actively cleaning out culverts and drainage pipes, which help prevent water from backing up onto the roads. We also have ODOT teams on standby throughout the state with chainsaws, other specialized equipment to remove downed trees and limbs from the roads. Similarly, our Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Parks and Watercraft has swift water rescue equipment at the ready, if needed, and we certainly hope it is not needed, but they are prepared. I want to thank all the first responders who will be responding this weekend. We know that they do a phenomenal job. We depend on them, and we're very thankful for them. I'm going to now turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Tressel, who's going to talk about some of the dangers that we want to warn people about. One of the reasons we wanted to do this press conference here as we begin to approach the weekend and the continued rain, is we want to make sure that people are alert to the biggest dangers that they face. Lieutenant Governor?
Thank you, Mr. Governor, and it really has been impressive to watch our Department of Public Safety, Director Wilson and Director Sima Merick and Emergency Management Agency have us prepared for the inevitable things that come our way. I think my first meeting with you as the Lieutenant Governor was right here, as you were imploring us to make sure that we're ready for every situation, so that every Ohioan can be safe and can be informed. And so my task here this afternoon is just to give those last few coaching points, if you will, to make sure that we're ready for every situation. And the most dangerous situation in this case is flash flooding. And flash flooding can happen very quickly, and you need to make sure that you get to higher ground immediately. It's also very, very dangerous, and we've got to make sure that we never drive, walk, or wade through flood water. Don't try to get around barriers that have been put up, because the barriers were put up for a reason, that there's danger behind them. Always try to be weather aware. It's pretty well known that the ground is saturated and the streams and rivers are swelling, and we've got to be aware. Listen closely to what public officials are telling us. They have the most up-to-date information, and it's impressive to watch just how close they can be to exactly what the situation is on the ground. Have a safe shelter plan. It's crucial that you know ahead of time where you can seek safe shelter in the event of a flood. Pay attention to the changing conditions, and again, continue to listen to updates. If you are under a flood warning, seek shelter immediately. I'd like to turn it over to our Director Sima Merick of our Emergency Management Agency to share with you a little bit more of what all of us should be thinking about at this moment.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. As the Lieutenant Governor and Governor indicated, I'm Sima Merick, and I'm the Director here at Ohio Emergency Management. A couple things that I just want to reiterate is the most important thing that anyone can do, any of us and our families, is know how to get important information, how to communicate with our family if we're in separate locations, and know where your trusted sources are for information, right? So our alerts on our mobile devices, to make sure those notifications are turned on. You're going to get your most up-to-date, both locally and from state officials, on where and those hazards are and at what time that risk and that hazard is to impact you. So you want to make sure you have them turned on. The other thing is, you know, for people who listen to radio and broadcast TV, cable, and social media, there is a lot of good up-to-date information for people to get information from there. Locally, on our local channels, our local radio stations, they are giving real-time alerts all the time. And our local TV stations also have apps that we can turn on their notifications. So when there is a warning or a watch or a flood watch issued, you will get that on your device, as well as generally get it from your local news. The other thing is, really think about that plan if you're separated, right, from your family. So if your loved ones are at school or if they're at work, know where you will all meet in case there is a flood or you can't get back home. A place where you can connect and reconvene together and be safe. And then lastly, I think that it's so important for you to have ready for you, especially if you're in a high-risk area, a to-go bag with you that has medications and batteries and a flashlight. And in particular, you want to make sure that you have those medications for a couple days, and you also are thinking about your pets. Take your pets along with you. Please bring them in out of the risk areas. Thank you.
We're happy to take questions.
Governor, what's going to be going on in this room over the next couple of days as you have to monitor, you know, these conditions?
Yeah, Sima, you want to describe it?
Yes, sir. So we are at level 2 of 4 in this room. It's called assessment and monitoring. We have been in this phase since earlier this week. As indicated, the storms have been kind of circling around and stalled over top of us. At that point, assessment and monitoring means we are engaged even more closely with our county partners, our county emergency management agencies, as well as our state agencies and state partners. That gives us a better level of reporting to ensure that we are reporting and communicating up and down and sideways, and also getting stuff out to the media as well. We will continue into this posture till the storm kicks out of the state. And right now we have calls with the National Weather Service, the Army Corps of Engineers, our county partners, and our state agencies as well.
Governor, apologies if you said this and I missed it. Will the National Guard be on standby at all?
Okay, I'm sorry, say that again.
Will the Guard be on standby at all this weekend?
Well, look, the Guard is always on standby. We do not anticipate the use of the Guard during this crisis, but if they're needed, they certainly will be called in. Anybody else?
Are you monitoring, what's the risk here? And I'm sure our wonderful TV partners can tell me this as well, of tornadoes, high winds as well. Is that something that people need to be watching out for as well this weekend, or is the concern truly just the amount of water?
Well, I think the main concern at this point is water. It's a cumulative problem. We're building on what's already occurred. As you can see, it's just sitting over us. And, you're just adding to that water, and the water's got no place to go. And that's just what we're seeing, and that's what we're concerned about, frankly.
Can you talk about some of the damage that's already occurred with the high winds over the last few days?
Yeah, I was getting reports all last night. We continue to get reports. You've got some barns down. You've not had to my knowledge, no serious injuries. So these have been, a hit and miss type situation in some of the counties. But, if it's your property, it's not hit or miss, and it's not small, it's big. We're just not seeing a widespread damage. Sima, you want to report anything else on that?
Thank you, Governor. The Governor is absolutely correct. We have had damages across multiple counties from winds, straight line winds, some tornadoes. Yes, if you are impacted, it's a big deal. But we have been somewhat lucky to this point with the severe winds and storms that have come through. There are damages, but not near what we've seen in some of our other states. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
You mentioned we were at level 2. Can you talk about, is that a scale where 1 is worse, or
Sure.
what's right in that other one?
Sure.
What does levels mean?
Yeah, so a level 1 is we're at normal operations, blue sky days. A level 2 is we know stuff is going on. Not that we're necessarily impacted at that point, but we're monitoring and keeping track and reaching out to all of our partners. A 3 is when we would start to call partners into this room because we have some actionable support that we're providing out to our local communities and cities. And then 4 is if this whole room is full. So we're at 2 of 4.
Anybody else?
I have a non-storm question. Is that okay if I ask it in this form?
Oh, sure. When have you been afraid to ask a non-relevant question? Go ahead.
Ohio House lawmakers rolled out their version of what you proposed to them, their version of the budget. They gutted a lot of the funding increase asks that you were asking them for. What's your initial reaction to this?
Well, I wouldn't use the term gutted. They were not the levels that we think are necessary. But virtually all of the programs were continued. Some of them, as I said, were not the level we would want. I think the thing to keep in mind, and I'm watching people react to the House budget, first to our budget, then the House budget. But look, we're still early in this process. House has not even voted on it. They'll do that, then the Senate will take this up and write a whole new budget. So, we'll be dealing with 3 budgets, and we'll kind of go from there. This is the way it always works out. I think that I just mention a couple things I think are very, very important. One of the things that has worked out I think we've seen some real success is what we call home visiting programs. And, you know, I would ask the members of the Senate really to take a look at that, because these are very successful. These are reaching out to moms in very difficult times for them. This is one of the ways that you reduce infant mortality. We're making some progress on infant mortality. We're moving the numbers some, not as fast as we want. But home visiting is just a very, very important program. We know it is successful. We know it works. We know it saves lives. We know you end up with healthier babies. The second thing I would mention is our new proposal for child tax credit. This is going to impact a ton of kids in the state of Ohio and their families. We know that strong families are essential to our state. This is where our state is. You know, if you want kids to be strong and develop, you know, strong family, this money is going to make a huge difference in the lives of a number of our working families. It'll make a difference when two parents are both wanting to work and are working and are having to juggle childcare. No, this won't pay for all of childcare, but an extra $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, depending on how many children you have under the age of 7, will make a big, big difference. So I would ask, you know, the legislature to take a look at this again. You know, we have provided them, I think, with a very good way to pay for it, with the increase in tobacco tax. It's just vitally important, and I've not heard one member of the legislature that I've talked to, at least, who doesn't think that this is a very, very good idea to be able to use this new tax credit. It's something that if you look at what's been written over the last 5, 10, 15 years, it doesn't seem to be a partisan issue. It doesn't seem to be a Democrat issue, a Republican issue. You have conservative thinkers, you have liberal thinkers who all come together and say, you know, this is good. This is good for society. This is something that we need. So those would be the two of the things, not exclusive, but two of the things that I would just mention today.
Governor, quick question about potential funding cuts. First of all, to public libraries, and second, to the Help Me Grow program expansion.
Well, Help Me Grow program is another very, very important program. You know, these are programs that no one's questioning. These are programs that we know work. And if we're really going to invest in our state, invest in the future, these are the type programs that give us, frankly, the most bang for the buck. When you're investing in kids, you know, you end up with a child who can live up to their full potential, and that will make a difference. 5-year-old child, life expectancy today may be 100 years. You know, you're for a very little amount of money, you're changing the outcome for a child, or potentially changing the outcome. So these are the type programs that we simply must invest in, and we must invest in fully.
What about the public libraries?
Look, public libraries are the center of many communities. They do a great job. I've always been a supporter of the public libraries. What amount we end up on, you know, obviously remains to be seen at this point. Anybody else?
Could you talk about how the state budget may be affected if there's ongoing federal funding cuts?
Not clear at all. You know, we're obviously monitoring what's going on at the federal level, what the administration is saying. All our members of the cabinet are doing that, but it's much, much too early to really determine, you know, where we're going to find, if we do find some real deficiencies and things that we might have to fill in, or, you know, at the state level. I think it's too early to determine that. But we're going to stay on it, and we're going to continue to watch it.
What do you say to school districts who either with your budget proposal or the House budget proposal worry that they're being shortchanged and won't have enough money to operate?
Yeah, well, I've never found that schools are bashful about mentioning the need for money, and I don't blame them. That's what they should be doing. Look, our schools are vitally important. We go through this in every budget. We have to balance different needs, different choices. And the thing I would tell the schools and tell anyone else concerned about anything in the budget, we still have a long ways to go with this budget. So now's the time to speak up. You got a window here. This is an important time. So if people, have concerns about any of the budget, not only is it the appropriate time, this is the time they must do it, and they must speak up. And we certainly encourage them to do that.
Going back to the child tax credit, are you open to another funding source for that if lawmakers come up with it?
Well, we've given them a way that I think is the easiest. It's a way that helps public health. It helps the health of individuals, is what it helps. And it also provides the money, and it's a pretty much even match. Are there other ways of doing it? Well, maybe. Our challenge as we put our budget together was we couldn't find any place else to pull that amount of money from. It's a very significant amount of money, and we target it directly at these working families. It will go to the people who need it the most, and to the people who, frankly, have a family. They're trying to raise that family, and they're doing everything they can. They're working. These are the people we want to help. These are the people we should be helping. These are the people that are most important to our society and how well we're going to do as a state. So we got to get them this help. We couldn't find any other way in the budget to come up with this kind of money. If somebody else can figure it out, we certainly would look at it.
Aside from
Jill's going to get you, so.
aside from federal government cuts, how do you expect the U.S. economy and specifically the volatility of the market that has come from these tariffs to affect the state?
Well, if you look at the employment figures that came out today, they're pretty strong. Came out today or yesterday. Pretty strong. But look, I don't have my crystal ball today, so we can only hope that the things that the administration are doing in regard to tariff will work. The market doesn't like uncertainty, and that's part of how the market is reacting. But I don't have a crystal ball. I can only hope that things work out well. We're going to stay focused in Ohio on what we can control, what we can do. We're at the budget time again. This is a crucial time. We're going to live with this budget people of the state are going to live with this budget for the next 2 years. So it's time to do the things that we need to do and to invest in our kids and invest in our families. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Emma?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think it's sitting there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's right on us.